For all the Apple fans out there, in this room is one of the most comprehensive collection of Apple products that documents the journey of the company from a Silicon Valley startup to the technological powerhouse that it is today. Meet Dubai expat Jimmy Grewar, who owns all the Apple products from the oldest to the latest.
When I was in university, my university had a surplus store where they would sell old equipment and furniture. I noticed in the back there was a pile of computers on the floor, and they had a number of old computers, including old Apple computers. And they were selling them by weight. You would weigh the computer. If it was a black and white computer, it was $1 per pound, and if it's color, it was $2 per pound. And there was an old original Macintosh from 1984 there, and I always thought it looked cool. And I thought I'd buy it as a decorative piece for my dorm room. And then the next week I went back and bought 2 more. So in university I ended up collecting maybe about 10 Apple computers. They were under my bed or under the desk or used as furniture. And by the time I moved back to Dubai in 2003, I had about 30 computers. But my interest in Apple started from school.
So tell me, what is the first Apple product and the last Apple product that you bought?
Well, I guess new that my parents bought for me was an Apple IIgs in 1986. It was a computer targeting the education and home market. And the last one I bought was an iPhone. There's about 130 computers. Okay. And about 100 other items, accessories, keyboards, mice, hard drives, things like that. This board on the wall is actually Apple's first computer. It's called the Apple Computer 1, and it was hand assembled by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The computer itself was complete, but you had to bring your own TV, your own keyboard, your own power supply, and make your own case. Many people made cases out of wood. Apple sold only 175 of these computers, so it certainly wasn't a commercial success. But it sparked the revolution. It was the spark that drove them to incorporate as a company. This is the Apple II. So a year after the Apple I, Apple as a company launched the Apple II. The Apple II was much more complete and usable. Unlike the Apple I, which was a hobby computer, this was a consumer, mass-produced, easy to use, open the box, plug it in, connect it to your television, and you can start using it as a computer. This is serial number 92. So one of the first 100 that was produced. And at some point, while it was under production or assembly, someone scratched their name in the bottom.
What
so Woz is the founder of the company.
Okay.
So at some point he used this computer. This is actually Apple's original logo. When the Apple I was introduced, this was the company's logo. But when the Apple II was designed, because it supported color, they wanted to do something different. So they designed this logo. And then the 6 colors were to represent the color capabilities of the computer. Xerox had a research center in Palo Alto which was developing something called a graphical user interface.
Okay.
And they had developed a computer that had something called a mouse that used this graphical interface. They were considering investing in Apple, so they allowed Steve Jobs and his team to come and see what they had developed. Inspired by that, they developed a computer of their own called the Lisa, which is, everyone assumes is named after his daughter, Lisa. So the Lisa was the first personal computer in the world that had a graphical interface with file, edit, view. Those words, those things that we take for granted on every computer, this was the first one to have that layout. This is the first Macintosh from 1984. The Macintosh came out exactly 1 year after the Lisa, and it was 1/4 the price, with many of the same capabilities. These things don't age very gracefully, and so they require a lot of maintenance. I mean, most of these computers have been restored to working condition, but that doesn't stay like that. Over time, the electronics decay, the plastic becomes brittle, the color changes. A lot of them have started to turn yellow. So all of that requires work to restore them back to their original condition and maintain it. I'd like to think that my collection is the most complete across all of the Apple product families produced in the first 30 years of the company's history. I have at least one example of everything. Not every variant, but every shape, every industrial design I have one. I hope my kids also have a similar interest in technology, or at least appreciation and comfort with it. And I think that technology continues to be an amazing way to create innovation, wealth, help people anywhere.